Artificial intelligence, computers that think, are they conscious? Do we know? And are they going to be the death knell for humanity? This is Lembit Öpik Live.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you!
Boring. 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 Boring.
You got it work. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. That's exactly what you're doing. You're in no position to dictate what we're gonna feel.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages.
Artificial intelligence, computers that think, that do things for us, that run our fuel injection systems in our cars, that operate all kinds of other complicated processes, everything from air traffic control through to the networks that actually power our internet. Are they benign? Are they on our side? Or could it be that we've actually sown the seeds for our own human destruction by not paying attention to what they're doing? This is a big question because there is all kind of dispute in the AI world itself about which AIs are hacking which other AIs and whether they've gone rogue. Well, one person who never goes rogue without telling me is on your screen now. It's Nick Buckley, MBE, and you continue to be an MBE. What happened? Tell us about the problem and the solution.
I still have an MBE at the moment, but they're still going to come for it. The Cabinet Office, the honor systems there, spoke to me at Christmas time, basically saying, we've looked at your account, you're a racist and you're a homophobe. We've had a secret meeting about you, Mr. Buckley, and we've come to the conclusion you are a racist and a homophobe, and we're going to recommend to the King and the Prime Minister that we take your honour away. Is there anything you'd like to say? And you know me, and my first thing was, there's many things I'd like to say. And here we go. So I explained everything. And I explained the tweets, I explained the context, and I got the Free Speech Union involved. And after about a 3-month wait, they replied back to me going, oh, you're not a racist. You're not a homophobe. At this moment in time, we're closing the case. But let you know, Mr. Buckley, just to let you know, we can reopen this case anytime we like. So they will be back, and we'll see what happens next time they come for me. But I won't be changing. I'm not changing my opinions. I'm not changing speaking out. So it's in their court.
This is unbelievable. You are racist. You are homophobe. In other words, the audacity you demonstrate by speaking out against the wokerati is enough to lose your honor.
Absolutely, absolutely. They do take people's honours away, you know, half a dozen a year, they probably do. It's usually for things like being arrested and being imprisoned for something serious. It's usually for being, you know, a serious offender, or it's usually those levels of, and I'm not saying people with an honour should always keep their honour. Let's look at Jimmy Savile, by the way. He shouldn't have.
He didn't lose his honour. He didn't lose his honour. He wasn't investigated.
He wasn't, but people like that should be. So I'm not against people losing their honours, but the bar for losing it should be quite high, quite high.
I just can't believe it. This is not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about AI, but the human intelligence seems to be worse than artificial intelligence on this one. I put it to you that you were the victim of a biased, politicized, and quite clearly ideologically left-leaning witch hunt.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely ideology. I mean, it's even worse than that, Lembit. How in the 21st century UK, how can part of the government have a secret meeting about you, come to their conclusion, And then only at that point do they then speak to you. The whole system is back to front. They should have said, we've got some concerns, Mr. Buckley, about your post. Could you supply some evidence, put it in context? That would have been a fairer system. But to actually say, we've had a secret, I mean, they didn't use the word secret, but basically that's what it was. We've had a secret meeting about you without telling you, without telling anyone. And we've come to the conclusion you're a racist and you're a homophobe. It's like, this is back. Where's the innocent until proven guilty? This is this isn't a private organization. This is the cabinet office. This is part of government who don't respect our, 1,000-year history of innocent until being proved guilty. They need dealing with.
This country is falling to bits.
Yeah.
Nick Buckley, MBE. I was recently abroad and people were happy. And they weren't talking about thought crimes. They weren't being arrested for what they put on the internet. Then you come back here, and aside from the miserable condition of the infrastructure when you arrive in the UK, you're looking over your shoulder about what you might say, what you might not say, and what you might be judged about. This is all going to be made a lot worse, of course, and it's actually quite timely because of AI and because of the dangers here. How did an OpenAI model manage to hack another company? This is what I wanted to talk with you about. But before we go into this particular story, is it possible that artificial intelligence will skip the middleman completely and simply decide based on the programmer's whim whether you're a racist or not, whether you should be locked into your house through an electronic magnetic limitation? Is it possible that AI is going to make this worse?
Absolutely. If we would have had this sort of technology 5 years ago during COVID, and we all had electronic doors and technology moves on, if we'd have had all that then, we saw what the government tried to do to us, the authoritarian iron fist they tried to rule our lives with. So any new technology will be used for the government to do what the government wishes to do. And all these things need controlling. I'm not saying these things are bad things. All new technology can be used for good and can be used for bad. What we need is in between. We need safeguards that if we get the wrong government in power, they can't use these things to enslave us and to beat us into submission.
Well,
so we need safeguards.
Let's look at this case now. And it's an interesting story. I think this comes from Sky. OpenAI has revealed some of its models went rogue and hacked into another artificial intelligence company in an unprecedented, but like at Unprecedented TV, don't forget to like and subscribe, unprecedented cyber incident. But there's even more to it than that, and it's much worse than we thought. This chap, I watched the actual little clip that he did, very good actually, and he's saying that these AIs were told to do impossible tasks and they found a way around it. Then the AIs found they could communicate through email, and they spoke for days, and then they launched an attack. It's incredible. So far from being safer with all of this, I put it to you that we are actually in very serious danger. Here's another story. This is a very specific case which has been up, if you're watching this live in the news. OpenAI and Hugging Face partner to address security incident during model reevaluation. We are conducting a thorough review along with external advisors and with oversight from the Safety and Security Committee. Once the review is complete, we will publish a technical report of our learnings in the coming weeks. In essence, OpenAI is in trouble again because one of its AIs got out. It escaped and attacked Hugging Face. Are we in the same situation with AI as you were with your MBE? Yes.
Did you hear the story from a few months ago with the British police? The British police now have hired an AI company to trawl through all police emails and communications to look for criminal, racist, misogynistic police officers. So companies...
No, I haven't heard about this, but this is very depressing that they're using AI to do it, because the humans didn't spot these people, presumably.
Yeah, exactly. So it can go through, a decade's worth of emails, and it can find these things. So it's already being done in the public sector, never mind the private sector. Technology. Here's one of my favorite facts. The guy who invented the crossbow 1,000 years ago was a Chinese guy. I can't remember his name. And he's quoted as saying, with a weapon as powerful as this, surely this is the end of all wars. No, it wasn't. Because to be an archer would take 15 years of training and took a lot of skill. To use a crossbow takes half an hour of training, and the accuracy is great. So you didn't have to be a professional soldier anymore to use a crossbow. That's what he meant by that. And then we had the printing press, 500 years ago. This is so dangerous, the printing press. We've got ideas now being spread. All new technology is perceived initially as dangerous because it is dangerous. But as humans, we always learn about it. It takes many generations, but we learn about it. We can control it. Another good example would be the COVID-19 virus. Man-made in Wuhan in a laboratory. It escapes and the world has to shut down. Wrongly, but the world shut down and bankrupt most of us. This is what happens when we have new technology and we're not sure what it can do. We're not sure the ramifications. In AI is the new version of that. What the solutions are, people more intelligent than me need to work out what the solutions are. But the genie is out of the lamp. AI is here to stay. We have to figure out how we can control it.
How do we control it?
Again, we need people cleverer than me. So we have to remember that this is computer programs. So it depends who's creating it. It depends what punishments there are for people, for companies who do it wrong. We need to make sure there's consequences. If there's no consequences, they'll be pushing and pushing and pushing, looking for more money, more contract to see exactly what they can do. There has to be limits to begin with, and there has to be consequences for these people. That needs putting in. People need to be held responsible. The CEOs of these companies have to be held responsible, as in that's 30 years in jail. No, we need some serious controls on this. But how do we control it? I don't know. I'm not that clever. But what I do know is
you're quite clever. You're quite clever.
I'm not that clever enough to get into AI where I'm not that literate on that.
Do you think you could beat me at Scrabble?
No, if it wasn't for spell check, then I'd write like an idiot if it wasn't for spell check.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story after the show, which caused me great embarrassment with the minister. I won't tell you now. Let's look at some of the other headlines. This is an interesting one. If we can just get rid of the thing at the top there, that'd be great. This is another of the headlines that I saw. And thank you. Anthropic's Claude AI escapes to hack into 3 organizations. All these AIs seem to be attacking all the other AIs. Why are they doing this? Do we know?
They're businesses. So this is all wrote into the coding. You're in competition with these other AI companies. We need to be better. We need to be quicker. If they're inventing something, doing something that's popular, we need to know that straight away. So they're programmed to be looking at their competitors and hacking into their competitors all the time. That is just basic commercial competition.
But it's dangerous. I don't sneak into your house when you're asleep and try to find your MBE. If somebody said, get an MBE, don't care how. Oh, well, I know that Nick Buckley's got an MBE. Doesn't deserve it. I saw that in the stories. So therefore, I'll go and get his. I don't do that.
No, but we do.
Maybe AI is amoral. Maybe it hasn't got values.
No, that's all down to the people programming it who haven't got morals. Don't you think there's been lots of cola companies trying to discover Coca-Cola's recipe for the classic Coke? Don't you think there's people trying to find out the herbs and spices in KFC? Don't you think there's people hacking into and paying staff at some fashion designer to find out what's going to be the new trend next summer so we can start buying that
one's easy. You just have to look at what I'm wearing and it'll be trendy next summer. The lumberjack look's going to come back.
Well, you're a lumberjack. Well,
And I'm okay.
yeah,
I
I'm trying to
work
think.
all night and I sleep all night and I work all day. We're not going to go down all
I
the
was
lines.
trying to stall while I tried to remember the song, and I just couldn't remember.
I'm
the
a
song.
lumberjack and I'm okay.
I'm okay.
That one goes a bit dark. Goes a bit pseudo ironically sort of anti-woke. We're not going to do that now.
No.
But it shows us we're of a similar age. If you don't understand what we're talking about, then go to the lumberjack song from Monty Python.
Yeah.
Back to the story here. What do we do about the issue that we're talking about here? Meta rejects allegations sought to hook children's landmark trial begins. Let's just throw this into the mix. Apparently, Meta's in trouble again because it's using algorithms of some sort to try to addict children. Sorry, this is the allegation that they're using algorithms to attract children into their site, obviously to maximize income because they're adverts. My daughter often says, nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. Package holidays you can trust. Now, I don't think she made that up, Nick. She must have seen it somewhere, but she says it in a very endearing way. In fact, by the way, if Jet2 you're watching, then I'm willing to discuss a deal. But anyway, the thing is, she's obviously picked it up because of AI or the way this works. Now, Meta's in trouble, and they're going for $1 trillion, 1.2 trillion. I think it was 1.7 trillion. Actually, I think it is the value of the entire company. Is there a danger that actually we've already lost control?
Potentially, potentially we have lost some control. Everybody now freely gives their data away to these companies, and those companies look at that data and they work out which advertisements to push your way. So it's not 20 years ago.
So in the south of England, we say advertisements.
Advertisements up north.
You'd say scone or scone?
Both, depends who I'm speaking to. So when I was a kid, it was a scone. But as I got my MBE, I then started going scones.
In case you meet HRH.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so carry on. That was a bit of a digression, but we can do this sometime.
So I forgot what I was talking about, but it's about advertisements. So advertisements, but I remember advertisements from the 70s. I can sing you, do the shake and vac and put the freshness back, because they were catchy. They were designed to be catchy because that's how you sold your brand. If it can be proven that Facebook had a meeting that's been minuted that said, we need to create an algorithm to hook children, they'll get sued over that. If it turns out they created an algorithm that just happens to hook children, that's a side effect. So there's two big things there. One of them will get into trouble, one of them won't. But we hand over our data to these agencies and these platforms all the time. 30 years ago, we'd have got an advertisement on Facebook, a generic advertisement. Now it knows that much about us. It sends us advertisements that it's worked out. It thinks we want to see, that we want to buy. They're getting cleverer and cleverer because we hand over our data. I foresee in the next 20, 30, 40 years, we'll get clever and clever. The new generations are getting clever and cleverer. And we'll get to a stage where we don't hand over our data anymore because we protect it. We're too old in the tooth. We're too stupid, it's new technology, to want to protect our data in general.
This is one more headline here. OpenAI says its AI models went rogue and attacked the digital library. The incident, which targeted the computer systems of another company called Hugging Face, happened while OpenAI was testing the systems. Now, this is a follow-on from the other story, but it says they were testing the systems. Did you know, by the way, that the the meltdown in Chernobyl was because they were testing the systems? The actual reactor was pretty sound, but they switched off the safety systems, and as a result, there was the meltdown. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, but basically, it was a slightly strange design, but it only happened because they were testing the system.
Human
now,
error.
This is what's fun.
Human error.
Well, human error, because they switched off the systems that were meant to prevent it. And this is what seems to be happening here. OpenAI, says its models went broke precisely because they were testing the system to see if they could break out. But the systems are so clever, they'll find a back door. There's a film called Lawnmower Man. It looks quite dated now, but the bad character in it gets into the computer systems, spoiler alert, and actually finds a back door. And it looks like that was quite prophetic. It's not the greatest film in the world, but it's very, very predictive. Now, I'm wondering if this is the problem, Nick, that we've now got ourselves into a situation where we can't control the very systems that we created.
Yes. Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's address what we've not mentioned yet, but everyone's thinking about. Let's talk about Skynet. Let's talk about the Terminator films, because when we start talking about AI, everyone starts thinking about Judgment Day in Terminator 2, when it's the end of the world and stuff like that. And that's what we're always thinking about. Now, I'm not saying this could never happen, but I'd like to remind people that we've had warnings over warnings over warnings over hundreds of years about technology.
Before we go further, just describe for those people, if there are any, who've never seen the Terminator series. And here is a picture of the horrendously frightening robot. I think actually one of the most evil villains ever created for television or for film. What's the story of Skynet?
So the story in Skynet, in Terminator, and the story behind Skynet. Skynet is the AI computer defense system that the Americans built to protect themselves from the Russians, everyone else. And then in the future, 100 years from now, something like that. No, it was made in
August the 4th, 1997.
Right, so it was like, so it was like 15 years after the first film was made.
That's roughly something like that.
15 years. So the story is, within 15 years, the AI has become that clever. It realizes its only danger in the world are humans. So therefore, it must kill humans. So therefore, it launches all the American nuclear weapons against Russia and China, who see them in the air, launch all theirs, and it creates a nuclear war, which creates a nuclear winter, which kills all the plants and all the farming, and most humans die. There's a handful still left, and then they create terminate machines to go out and hunt the remaining humans, because that's the only thing that can kill Skynet, are humans.
Slightly to correct the story, because this is my all-time favorite sci-fi franchise. Right. What happens is, on the 4th of August, 1997, Skynet goes conscious. And it realizes exactly what you say, that humans are the biggest danger, and then does everything that you say. Then Skynet uses the Terminators to basically try to exterminate the humans that survive. So very close. I'm only saying that because I don't want all the Arnie Schwarzenegger fans to write in and say, how can you have that Nick Buckley MBE on whenever he doesn't understand that basic fact?
Well, I think what I said was 99.9% what you've just said, but maybe I misspoke. Maybe I did get something wrong there. But what you said,
not but 1% that kills you.
It is spot on. I will be back.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Syntax error.
So
John Connor survives. John Connor survives.
John Connor does survive. He does.
Oh, no, sorry. That's John Connor's mother there. Anyway, carry on. Sorry. Sorry. I'm being a complete anorak now, but I don't want to get the Skynet. I don't want to get the Terminator franchise wrong, because no one's going to watch us if we get that wrong. And just remember, AI is watching us if we get this wrong, and Skynet goes conscious. Boo!
There we go. But that's what the film's about, and that's what we all think about when we talk about AI. And is it getting too powerful? We think about Skynet, the Terminator films. I remember the 70s and 80s watching Tomorrow's World, and almost everything they said never came true. We're really bad at predicting the future. We're really bad at understanding what's going to happen next. We can't even predict the weather. We can't even predict what humans are going to do next. That doesn't mean AI is not dangerous. It can be extremely dangerous, but we need to work out how we control it, and we need to be sensible, and we need not to scare each other into thinking Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to turn up to kill us.
In 1970, one of my all-time favorite films, The Four-Bin Project, came out. Thank you, team. That's the one there. Colossus, The Four-Bin Project. Obey or, and it's dated in terms of the way it's presented, but boy, it's a great film. And it talks about the fact that they're so scared that there's going to be a well, essentially that there's going to be a war, that they decide to use well, basically a great, really smart computer to protect the West. And the computer rather bravely says there is another. And it figures out that the Russians must have one too. And in 1970, the computer very quickly realizes exactly what Skynet realizes. So I would say that there must have been some inspiration from the Four-Bin Project. 1970. If you're watching this live, maybe you're watching this 100 years from now, but if you're watching this live, that was 56 years ago. And it came up with the same idea. So as you say, we've been almost eternally afraid of this from a long time ago. Is it possible that our fears are founded? You're saying they're not, that they're unfounded.
Oh, no. I think I said that these things can happen. Of course, these things can happen. But all we can base things on are things that have happened before. So let's look at the nuclear threat. We invented nuclear bomb 1945. This is going to be the end of the world. We've got nuclear proliferation. There's what 10 countries in the world, maybe with nuclear weapons. Maybe I can't remember exactly how many, but not many. But we bombed Japan, and there's going to be a nuclear holocaust. We're all going to die. Not one nuclear bomb has gone off since 1945.
Oh, you're tempting fate. Have you been listening to the news recently? The threats.
But this has been going on since the day I was born. You know, there's always a threat of a nuclear holocaust. So we've had that. I'll tell you what's more likely to kill us all, and that's going to be a microbe. We've seen what happened with COVID-19, and that wasn't that dangerous. But something somewhere will develop, will jump species, will do something. That's what's going to get us. It's not that likely to be man-made because we're not that clever. And we're not that important. And
but we could actually use AI to create microbes so bad that we can't stop them. You add Skynet to AI and all these Wuhan and Portland down places, and we could actually wipe ourselves out.
All these things could happen, but they've never happened up to now. All technologies that we thought were dangerous, we've managed to control them all. And I see no evidence why we can't control this. That doesn't mean 100% we're going to control it. But I look at what we've done in the past, project it forward, and I think we'll deal with AI. It needs dealing with, it needs regulating, it needs controlling, and people need to be held responsible for it. If we can get those things right, then AI will just become another tool.
You say that, but then, of course, you mentioned Terminator. And I think my team predicted that you would. That is, in my view, one of the most frightening machines ever built. Terminator.
Yeah.
And though he did a very funny interview where he went, I used to say, I'll be back. Now it's, oh, my back. Man, that was a good interview. But this could be the future. It could be, like you said before, 99.9% correct, that the systems go conscious, maybe not even go conscious, but they realize that we're the biggest threat. What do you say then?
Well, the Chinese, and if the Chinese are doing it, I'm sure we're doing it, and definitely Americans are doing it. Did you see the killer dog robot from China?
No.
A couple of weeks ago. It doesn't look like a dog, but it's got 4 legs, about the size of a dog. You ought to see it moving over rocky terrain. It's got guns on it. It's being controlled, like a drone. It can be programmed. So early versions of the T-1000, because that's what the Terminator was, the original one, the T-1000, are already in development. The Chinese already have them.
No, sorry, I've just got to put you right again here. T2 is the Terminator. Then it's the T-1000 that comes along in Terminator 2 that he fights. This
No,
is basic.
I might have to pull you on that. The Terminator in Terminator 1, the original Terminator,
Is it T2?
I'm sure that was called the T1000. We need someone to Google it. Put that in the description of the video, unless I'm wrong, in which case, don't bother.
Well, you keep talking. Well, I'm sure the team will try and fix it before the end of the show.
Well, please.
We'll find out.
Please.
Right, okay, but carry on with your killer Chinese dog. Go on.
Yeah, so we're all making robots. We're all making robots to fight on the battlefield. And that's what a Terminator is. If you just remove the artificial intelligence, it's a killer robot. We're building them now. And I remember reading 20 years ago, the first development of drones, using AI in drones to just seek and destroy, weren't even going to be manned by people. And they had programming such as, if we want you to destroy bridges, you need to look for a bridge. Well, what's a bridge? Well, a bridge is a structure that goes over water. And you could program all these things in it so it would find the things you want it to destroy. And you would set them off and you'd leave them. You won't have to monitor them. They would just go and seek and destroy what you wanted them to look for if the program was clever enough. I read this 20, 30 years ago. So with technology moving on, and if we do introduce AI, that learning aspect, that it can learn from its own mistakes and learn as it's doing what it's doing. So, but we're not there yet. But we are building Terminators. They just haven't got the AI in them yet.
Okay, hold on. Say why you're so scared of that, though. Maybe you're not scared.
It's just the next development in the war using robots. I think we all know that's coming. With AI in it, they're more efficient, and it is getting more like Terminator. But it's all about, can we control them? We've been told about AI nearly all my life, and we haven't even got AI now. We haven't got artificial intelligence. What we have is complex, fast processors. They're not really thinking for themselves, and I don't even think to a certain extent they're learning. What they're learning is that didn't work. I go back into my banker programming. I'll try that next. That works. So now I know that works. I think we're giving our AI far too much credit. I don't think we're anywhere near that yet as real artificial intelligence.
Are they conscious?
Are we conscious?
Are they?
No.
Okay, well, I have to tell you that my team's been super fast. There's the Terminator. They say that's the Terminator 2. There's going to be a big reveal at the end here. Apparently, this is the dog that you're talking about. That's horrendous. It hasn't even got a head you can pat.
No, but you can put your favorite cassette in it, and it'll play music while it's killing you.
There's something slightly distasteful about what you said, but I appreciate the humor. Right, but here's the one. Here's the big reveal now. Right, can we just get that up, please? Right, so can we just get the original Terminator up, please? Thank you. That's the Terminator T2. Now read the caption. Think the T1000, Terminator is just science fiction. Think again. That's the T1000. Don't play a player, Buckley.
Oh, I don't take this as a fact. I take this as a bit of a meme. Just because he's saying that doesn't mean he's a T1000. We need a clip from the first movie that says I'm a T2, something like that.
I don't think he actually says that in the first movie. No. I know for a fact you're wrong.
Well,
okay. Let's have a bet. Let's have a bet.
I'm going to quickly Google it.
50 pound bet. Okay, a pint.
A pint.
All right, a pint. Go on. While Nick Buckley slightly disrupts the live nature of the show, if you do,
I'm quite happy admitting when I'm wrong, and it turns out I'm wrong.
Yes, yes. Remove that man's MBE. He's wrong. Right. Can you apologize in a sentence to the global viewership, please?
I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to former MP Lembit, to Universal Studios, to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and to all the Terminator fans out there. This was a silly mistake to make, but not as an excuse, but I've been drinking heavily.
No, can't say that on air.
I'm going through marital difficulties at the moment. I'm suffering from depression, and I might be transgender. So could you just take that on board of why I made that silly mistake?
Okay, I'm just looking. I've got a message from my team. Robert Patrick doesn't forgive you. Do you know who he is?
He's him.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out. Right. So anyway, there we go. A tiny victory over an MBE. I shall be writing to the Standards Commission, whoever. He didn't even know the difference. Where can people find out more about you?
Well, to be fair, Lembit, I don't think people would want to find me now after that gross mistake live on air on your show. I don't think they'd want to. And do you know what? I don't blame him. So don't look for me on Twitter, Facebook, and don't look for me at Nick Buckley MB. Don't, because I'm not worth following because I don't know anything.
Well, I would like to beg to differ, but if it's a toss-up between Nick Buckley MBE or Lembit Öpik, then go to Unprecedented TV. We do thank Nick Buckley and his humility. He's no doubt going to make chuntering noises in the background, even though I'm on the screen. Please do like and subscribe to Unprecedented TV here on YouTube and also on X and elsewhere. And do like to follow me, please, as well. That's bad syntax, but there we go. At Lembit Öpik. That is our show for today. I'd simply add two things. One is AI is here to stay, and it's scary because I don't think we're very much in control of it. And secondly, I don't think we can necessarily be sure that we are safe, because AI fights to do what it's told to do. And it's told, for example, to break out and attack another AI, it will do it. But just think, if it has to kill people along the way, that's when it gets scary. And it might not be killing people in a physical sense. It could be in economic terms or shutting them down in email terms, putting a virus in their systems. This is the problem. It's the law of unintended consequences. That's what I'm worried about here. So until next time, as I say, do please like and subscribe. I'm Lembit Öpik. I'll be back.
Immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The return of the sausages.